Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's your boy Rick Racket, finally returning after a 2+ month hiatus, a little over 2 months at least. Um, so yeah, it was a busy couple of months. I had about 5 weeks there of like 48-hour work weeks, 6-day work weeks, however you want to look at it. Um, and each week I only had one day off, and I just was not up for recording anything. I was like, okay, I'll just wait until this overtime thing is over and come back and pick up where I left off. And I am going to do the Jurassic Park Sega Genesis playthrough. I'm just not doing that today. I'm not going to promise a day. I think the last time I recorded something, I said I'll do it next week, and next week came, and the week after that came, and the week after that came, and no Jurassic Park. But I am still planning to do that. It'll just be a little bit. I'm hoping to get back to a somewhat regular upload schedule, at least one day a week. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. You never know with work. Somebody goes on vacation and you end up having to work 6 days. So that's just how it is. I'm sure most of you watching understand. You have full-time jobs. Um, but thank you for understanding. Thank you for everyone that's continued to subscribe to this channel in my absence and continue to watch my videos and leave comments. I very much appreciate that. And I appreciate your continued patience while you wait for the next episode, or the next, not episode, but the next playthrough, the next Jurassic Park game. Two more games to go: the Sega Genesis Jurassic Park, and then the Super Nintendo Jurassic Park. And that'll conclude my little Jurassic Park 30th anniversary celebration. But today, we're going to talk about Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, or as it's known as, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So I have a lot of thoughts and opinions on this. And also the Metal Gear Solid Masters Collection. So let's start with that. Let's start with the Metal Gear Solid Masters Collection, because I've got a few thoughts on that. Right, so here we go. This is from Konami's official website. This is the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. Note the Volume 1 part of that. That would imply there will be a Volume 2. And that's something I'm really excited about, because I think that would imply Metal Gear Solid 4, Peace Walker, and the Phantom Pain. And Metal Gear Solid 4 is a big one, because that's still a PlayStation 3 exclusive. So if there's a Volume 2, I believe that'll be part of that collection, and I'm very excited about that. So this one's coming out this year, autumn 2023. Now, here's the thing. This has only been confirmed for PlayStation 5 so far, but it is not classified as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It says here on the website, so stay tuned for more information. If you go down here, they have screen caps of the games, and I think these could be from this collection, or they could be from just the original releases, or the HD collection in the case of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. It says note image display content still in development. Now, the only thing I want to point out here is that I hope that in the final release, the original Metal Gear Solid is in widescreen. I hope it's not 4:3. I'm not expecting them to remake it, but you can get widescreen on the PC port. You can mod the PS1 version to run in widescreen if you play it through emulation. So I'm hoping that, again, in the final release we get widescreen, but it might be 4:3, who knows. But here's the thing I wanted to point out. They have a message from the development team. Now, I'm not going to read all this. You can if you want to. You can pause the video. But here's the important part to me. It says, the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection allows fans to play the games as they were as first released on the latest platforms. They note the word platforms. They didn't say platform. So that would imply to me that that's coming to other consoles. My big hope is that it comes to PC. We know Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is coming to PC. So hopefully this will as well. And this is the best case scenario for everyone. You've got the remake with the new graphics and everything. There's going to be a group of people that, regardless of how faithful it is to the original, are going to dismiss it because it's a remake. So for those people, you've got the originals. And I'm someone that's going to probably, well, not, I'm going to play both, but I'll probably enjoy both. Like, I'm not a purist. I don't really like purism as a concept, as an ideology, as it really is now. But yeah, very exciting. And like I said, I'm really hoping that it comes to PC because that's the big thing for me. And look, I'm not a master race guy. Play on whatever console you want, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you happy, go for it. But for me personally, I'm really big on game preservation. That's one of the reasons, at least, why I became a PC gamer, because it's a lot easier to preserve games on PC than it is on consoles. The problem with consoles is, like, let's use Metal Gear Solid as an example. On PlayStation 3, you have basically every mainline Metal Gear title that's been released so far. You've got the original via the PlayStation Store. You've got the HD collection, which had 2, 3, the 2 MSX titles, and Peace Walker. You had Metal Gear Solid 4, which is still a PlayStation 3 exclusive, and then you have Metal Gear Solid 5. So all of the mainline Metal Gear games are there, even Metal Gear Rising. But then when you go from PS3 to PS4, backwards compatibility is nowhere to be found. So you lose access to the HD collection, Metal Gear Solid 4. MGS5 had a PS4 port, so that's not a problem. You lose access to Metal Gear Rising. And for whatever reason, they decided to do away with the PlayStation Classics, so you lose access to MGS1. Not great for game preservation, I would say. And on the Xbox side of things, they are better about backwards compatibility, but they've never had all of the mainline Metal Gear titles. They only really had the HD collection and the Phantom Pain. And that's not really Microsoft's fault. MGS4 was a PS3 exclusive because the 360 had certain hardware limitations, like with the DVD 9 or whatever, and it just didn't have enough storage space to handle MGS4 at the time. So I guess technically it is Microsoft's fault for choosing a DVD for their format, but it is what it is. But on PC, these things aren't really an issue. Like, Steam is Steam. I'm using a gaming laptop right now that I got earlier this year. It's the Idea Gaming Pad 3, I think, from Lenovo. It's a very good gaming laptop. I have my Steam Deck. In a few years, maybe I'll upgrade to a really good desktop computer for gaming. But here's the thing, when I upgrade, all I have to do is load up my Steam profile, and those 150 some games that I have on Steam, I'll be able to carry over to that new PC. Are there compatibility issues with some of those games, like running them on different graphics cards and stuff? Sure, but there's almost always a workaround. Usually you can just go into the settings and tweak a few things and you're good to go. In the worst of cases, you have to go and download a fan mod, which is usually not that big of a deal. That's again, one of the reasons why I'm into PC gaming. And with the Metal Gear games specifically, you can play MGS4 through RPCS-X3. It works fairly well. It's there's been improvements over the past couple of years, but it's not perfect. To have an actual PC port of the game would be a dream come true for me. To have PC ports, official PC ports for all of these games would be fantastic. Because, like, look, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, I can play those officially. I've got them on GOG. Metal Gear Solid 3, I have to emulate. Emulating MGS3 is a bit rough. MGS4 is a bit rough to emulate. The PSP titles, they work pretty well when you emulate them. But it's not ideal. It's not as good as having official PC ports. And to have the HD version of MGS2 would be fantastic, as well as 3. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about this. I'm probably more excited for the collection than I am for the remake, and I'm really excited for the remake. But getting off of that tangent, let's get back to Snake Eater. So here are some screenshots that were released for the game. This is like actual in-game footage. So that trailer, I don't think was CG. It was not like gameplay, but it wasn't CG. Like they were using actual in-game footage, which the Metal Gear series has always done, except for Peace Walker, I guess. But the things I want to point out here with this remake is they are leaving the environments the same. This isn't like Resident Evil 4 where the environments were kind of the same as the original. Like you look at the village, it's pretty much the same. But some of the other environments, while they were similar, were laid out a bit differently. With this, they're exactly the same. And by the way, I didn't have a problem with that with the RE4 remake. I freaking love that game. It's fantastic. I prefer it over the original, so it's not a knock against that. I would have been okay with them doing that here, but they kept it the same, so that's pretty cool. So here you can see this is like the opening area where you have the backpack. You have to climb up the tree. That's pretty cool. See if we can zoom in. Yeah, I mean, this is gorgeous. It's not going to look that good on my PC, but it's still really nice. Here is the area with Sokolov, where you rescue Sokolov. Like everything's the same. Like that explosive barrel, it's in the exact same place. The guards' uniforms, they're pretty much the same. Really good stuff. There's the swamp. Man, check that out. That's impressive. There's a crocodile or alligator, I forget which. Here's the bridge. Again, it's laid out the same. Here, down here's where you get the M16 at. Pretty neat. I think that might be all of them. Yeah, that's it. So I'll move it back over to the trailer. But yeah, so I'm glad they're keeping it the way it was in terms of the level design. You know, leading up to the announcement, a lot of people were saying that could it be an open world game? Could they just like completely reimagine it? And that's what it would be. It would be a reimagining. And here's the thing for me, like I am kind of burnt out on open world games. It seems like everything that comes out these days in the AAA space is open world. And look, if you're into open world games, that's fantastic. Great. Good for you. I wish I had more free time to where I could play games more often. I would probably be more into them myself. But the reality is I don't. And you know, I differ from a lot of gamers in one respect. Well, in many respects, but in this one specifically, like I think most gamers, the way they determine the value of a game is how much playtime they get out of it, or how much playtime they could potentially get out of it. Like they want to know that the game is going to last 40 plus hours and be open world. And I think they've come to expect that because of how expensive consoles are. Games have gone up in price a little bit. I think people expect that. That's not the way I look at it. The way I value a game really comes down to, after the credits roll, was I personally satisfied with the experience? Did I have fun? And the unfortunate thing is now, because everything again is open world and 40 plus hours long, I usually don't get to finish these games. I want to play different things. I don't want to take one game and play it all year long. I understand there's many people that do want to do that. If I were a kid today, like I actually kind of envy kids today, because like when I was a kid, you know, I could get maybe 2 or 3 games a year, if that. And so I had to replay games a lot just to have something to play, you know. Like I like doing that. Like the Metal Gear Solid games, I can speedrun those in like an hour and a half to 2 hours now because I played them so much as a kid. But being a kid today has to be fantastic if you're playing these games. Like you're getting hundreds of hours of content out of one game on one playthrough. But now I'm older. I can buy games more often. Since I've moved over to PC gaming, the games are constantly on the sale for like $5 each. And I want to play different things, but at the same time, if I'm not finishing these other games that I've got in my backlog, I feel like I've wasted my money on them, and I desperately try to go back and finish them. But it's a daunting task again when everything is 40 plus hours long, massive open world. It's just, ugh, need a break from that. And that's why I was so into the RE4 remake, because it was going back to the game design that I liked, the game design that I grew up with, which is linear and making everything with intention. With open world games, there are aspects, there are parts of those games that are obviously made with intention, but there's so much just flat grassland. It's just there for set dressing. It's just there to give you something to walk across to get to the next thing. I don't see the point in that. Again, it gets tiresome when every game is like that. And Metal Gear Solid doesn't. Snake Eater doesn't need to be like that. You can make a brand new Metal Gear Solid game and make it open world and kind of make it work. But if you look at the Phantom Pain, that game had all these different mechanics, right? You had the base building, you had the soldier recruiting, you had the R&D thing where you could like make new weapons and such. If you were to do Snake Eater, you can't really do any of that. It wouldn't make any sense to have a base building mechanic on Big Boss's first mission. It wouldn't make any sense to have R&D, like the whole point of the story is like he's naked Snake. He's going in without any weapons and equipment. He has to procure them on site. So you can't do that, and it wouldn't make any sense to do the soldier recruiting. So it would just be you just sneaking through a massive open world, and that's fine for like 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours. But it would end up being 15 to 20 on the short end, and it would get boring. I don't understand how people don't get that. And it just shows I don't think that a lot of people I don't think a lot of people understand what makes for good game design. They just want games to hit a certain quota in terms of the size and the length. And that doesn't always make for good game design. And the thing is, you need a lot of variety with an open world game. You look at GTA 5. GTA 5 probably has the most variety of any like open world game. And even its campaign was like 7 to 8 hours long. Even they were like, let's keep it on the short side, and people can just, if they want to do more, then they can go back and replay missions and get a better score. They can go off and do all these side missions. That's the best way to handle it. But unfortunately, and I think that's the unfortunate thing about GTA success, is that developers learned the wrong lessons from it. They just looked at it and saw that, oh, this game is the best-selling game of all time. I guess that's what people want. They want open world games. It's like, maybe you have to look at all the other things that GTA was doing. It's not just an open world game. And what a lot of developers do is they're taking game design from the 7th generation or even the 6th generation, and they're stretching it out to work in an open world game, and it doesn't work. But I'm getting off on a whole tangent here with open world game design and everything. Most people are probably not even aware that some fans wanted MGS3 to be open world. And look, I know Kojima wanted to make Snake Eater open world originally, but the hardware just wasn't there at the time. And so you could maybe use that and say, well, like, oh, well, now's the chance. But Kojima's not there anymore, and you have to work with the game that you have. And the game that he made, ultimately, is not an open world game. It's what I would classify as a non-linear game. It's open enough to where it gives you like multiple paths to complete certain objectives or to sneak around enemies, but it's not so massive that it's like just pointless. I think Metal Gear Solid 3 and 4 strike the perfect balance between linear and non-linear. And again, I'm just glad that they stuck to the original design. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Very excited for this remake. Don't know when it's coming out. I don't think they gave it a release window. I would say maybe next year, probably late next year. But in the meantime, we'll have that Masters collection, Masters collection, I forget. Um, we'll have that coming out, so that'll be something to talk about and to play through. And you know, I'm playing through that. I assume if it comes to Steam, it'll run on my Steam Deck. So yeah, I'm playing those on the Steam Deck for the channel. I have that to look forward to. I had intended to do Metal Gear Solid 2 for the channel with the Steam Deck using PCSX2. But I guess now I'll just wait for this, or wait to see if it's going to come out on Steam first. And if it does, I'll just wait to play that version of it. Unless you guys just want to see the PCSX2 version, I can do that too. But let me know what you think. I've droned on long enough about this. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you thought about the video. If you want me to see me do more of these in the future, I would appreciate the feedback. And please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. I will be back hopefully soon with more videos like this and with more playthroughs. Again, going to continue that Jurassic Park marathon. So look forward to that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.